Welcome back, everybody, to episode 87 of the Lookout Podcast. Of course, I am Meelz. I am here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
What's going on, man?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. We here. I don't know. I really don't. I'm trying to wrap my head around a lot of things that are kind of going on, but I know that I've been reading a lot of good manga lately, so that's all I got to really say about that.
That's good. That's good.
I think everything is kind of hitting its zenith, kind of hitting its peak, kind of hitting a lot of things. Very much so stride. Actually, this was just a good week for absorbed material anyway, because I even think the animes that we watch typically that we went over were pretty good this week.
They were hitting this week, bro. I think we had no issues as far as content because, like you said, every episode was just really good. Dr. Stone was really good. Promise was really, everything was hitting. Juju was really, really good. So,
I haven't watched it. I'm saving it. I'm going back to Mondays for my Juju watch. Usually I did it when I usually did it. I usually, for the purposes of this podcast, I would watch it early. But now I guess I can go back to Monday after Raw. After Monday Night Raw is when I kind of decompress from wrestling and just kind of watch anime for about an hour or so.
It's the only filler apparently that is within Juju. Period.
I'm fine with that because they're funny anyway. The Juju strolls are hilarious anyway.
This is the funniest episode.
I can imagine.
It is.
I can imagine. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know if there's any anime news that we've got out in these streets. First of all, if you have not listened already, please do. Last week, we're back. Mount Silver's back.
Yes.
We recorded last week. We released it last week. It is out in the universe. Let me see if people were actually feeling this. I'm doing a live look at the anime.
A live look. Now.
People were feeling
it's
this.
Pokemon.
People wanted it back.
Yeah.
But I just feel like in general, people wanted it back. We had a great big week last week in terms of that. The Titan Time Tuesday, we had of course the episode of Lookout alongside the Big Eyes podcast earlier in the week, and then we had a second episode of Big Eyes with Victoria. Shout out to Miss Old School on Twitter / Mooney's Club / Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast, who did the damn thing with that podcast as well. We had
you ready to watch?
When
are we gonna indulge on the Moonies?
I don't know.
So I have not watched Sailor Moon in a long time. So
I think I watched maybe the first episode, and I was just like, I know I'm gonna have to watch this for the podcast eventually. So let me not even get ahead of myself.
We'll get there.
But I was definitely thinking, all right, so here's a little tidbit. Actually, sometime next week is going to be the 3rd anniversary of this podcast. Sometime next week. I don't know what we're going to do. Usually we release something. I don't have things to release. We don't have things to release currently. So usually we try to put out a sticker or there's an episode or something along those lines, but we're kind of busy doing this. So I don't know what our general celebration will be, but I'm sure we'll celebrate it at some point. I think, just 3 years doing this thing, starting off Dragon Ball.
It's something to be proud of.
Last year. Yeah. Absolutely. And evolving, continuing to evolve over the course of this year and stuff like that. And we've got some exciting stuff coming up. I think even this week, it's going to be this week. We got are they doing March Madness in real life?
Yeah, it's happening.
Oh, okay.
But there are some. The thing is with March Madness right now, there are some teams that are just not involved. They just completely shut down. So it's a March Madness, but it's it's light. March Madness light.
Well, listen, we will not be doing a very light March Madness this month. So for the first time, the Lookout this month will be incorporating into March Madness. We have what I call the Tournament of Tournaments. What does that mean? Well,
what does that mean?
We're going to be answering which tournament arc reigns supreme as the best tournament in all of anime, or at least in the ones that we defined it. I can't think of all of anime. I don't know. But we've got 16 very good, I think very reputable, very strong contenders for what could be the best tournament arc ever. Now, I want to ask you.
What the best tournament arc is?
Yeah, just what's the best for you? What's the best? Just name one.
Oh my god, the best tournament arc ever.
Don't name many. Just name one.
honestly, I think the Tournament of Power is really OP.
Mm.
I really do. I really do. I know Dragon Ball in general doesn't get the high ranks amongst things in anime community because it's so broad, but I actually think it really capped off or started the golden age of anime. So I think it's an important arc, man.
Listen, I think. What am I going with? I mean, I think everyone in their brain is going to be like, "Yo, it's the Dark Tournament," which is fair because I think it kind of revolutionized, a lot of tournament arcs. I'm good. What's the best of all time?
You don't let nostalgia get
I'm
you with the dark tournament shit. It's.
What happened?
I mean, it's respectable. The Dark Tournament stuff, like I feel like I would say it's brilliant, but we gotta keep nostalgia out of it. It's tough.
I mean, I don't think we can keep nostalgia out of it. Nonetheless, I think people will be voting on this just in general. And for those of you who kind of want to preview, of course, the Dark Tournament is on it. Of course, Tournament of Power is on it. But we've also have something like the Chunin exams in Naruto. Mm-hmm. We have the Battle City Tournament of Yu-Gi-Oh! We have Heaven's Arena, Hunter x Hunter. The Spring Inter-High qualifiers from Haikyuu. Which led into the second and third season of the anime, so that one was pretty good. And we have
you allowing Tower of God?
Tower of God? No, we didn't. It was an executive decision. It was 100% an executive decision.
That's all I wanted to know, Meelz.
All I thought it should be on it, even if it gets washed. I thought the fact that an anime that is purely a tournament arc, should be on it. But the people, the brain trust, the Lookout brain trust that we have here, did not agree. So is it no? It's kind of whack. And I was like, you know what? I haven't watched it, so I'm gonna take your word for
it.
Right. So maybe I'll tune into that and see what's going on with there. Let's see. You know what? Let's cut the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. It's Titan time.
I like that, man. What you just did that just now?
Literally freestyled off my brain.
That was incredible. Holy shit. Say it every episode.
I will not remember it by the end of this episode.
What's up, man? How'd you like this episode this week?
It's continuing to build. It's continuing to build kind of the climax of what I think is going to be part one of the season, and they're doing a damn good job, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of moving pieces, but they're all intertwined, which is, I think, just a great storytelling. Like, I don't know why Attack on Titan is so freaking good. Like, why is it so good at this? Because you would think they've made, I don't know how many mangas, I don't know how many stories the creator of Attack on Titan has told beforehand. Mm-hmm. But man, like, this is some good shit.
Yeah. Masterpiece, like real writing. It's almost like you do forget that this is an animated thing or an anime or whatever. Like you feel like you're there, you're involved, you're dedicated, you're trying to figure out what's happening, you always want more. This is like, there's no fluff, and I think that's what is so important about the series, especially this last season, because it's really good. They have not missed.
Absolutely. So I would say, okay, I'm trying to think of the grand overarching kind of theme to this episode. I mean, there are a lot of different things that I think are continuing to pick up through this entire episode. One is the cycle of violence that is continuing, that just continues to continue, and just mentionings of like, yo, we got to stop the cycle of violence. But ultimately, like, it's a big wave of violence heading our way, I think, in multiple directions, from the rumbling to the invasion of Paradis Part 2. Peak is on the island, as we saw last week. We had no mention of him this episode, but it's still a major thing that's looming over Paradis, and just kind of everything. But they pull back this week. Instead of going sort of the grand, instead of seeing, Commander Zachary's, being smoked like Pookie Loke. I mean, someone was about to get smoked in this episode.
Somebody had to get smoked. Yeah, we were there.
They ain't died, but they was damn close. So I'm gonna count it anyway. In terms of just like, I think attempted murder should count in our Attack on Titan. Did they die in
I
this
think so.
episode? Count
I think
or
so.
not?
I think that's fair.
Attempted murder for sure. All right. So this episode starts off. We don't get much of Zeke in this episode for a
Not
good
mad.
reason.
Not
mad, but it
Yeah.
starts off with a very kind of important thing, which kind of lends. He recalls the event of what happened in the town of Rigako, which is the town that Connie's from, which was a big mystery in kind of like season 2, I believe, of the show, or season 1, where they saw the Titan that looks like Connie's mom. He's like, "Yo, that's a Titan that looks exactly like my mom." But
And
how
it
are
did.
they Titans? And where's my mom?
It's like, well, I mean, I don't know. If I saw
that's
that,
my house. That's a Titan.
Yeah.
It looks like my mom.
I'm gonna assume that's my mom's. Like,
But how do they become Titans? That's the crazy part. And we kind of get we've had an idea before, but now you really get the kind of curtain pulled back in terms of like Peak was there, Zeke was there. Peak and Zeke, what a team, what an arsenal.
Zeke.
They were there, and
Tag
they
team
pretty
champions.
much all the spinal fluid, put it in the air. Everyone gets, according to Zeke, they get freaked out and start like, it's like roaches to raid or something like that.
Yeah,
They get freaked out, start spazzing out on the ground, and suddenly with a yell, because Zeke does have the power of royal blood, he's able to turn people into Titans and get them under control, and that's kind of how we started the story. And what's so funny is, they cut back and Zeke is like, "I told you the story like 3 times. Why do you keep wanting to hear the story?
You want to hear it again?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Because you seem like you have pretty much no mercy. You say you're doing this for us. You say you're doing this for the Eldians. You say you're doing this for the freedom, but you have no mercy for the people that you've killed prior to that." And I love the exchange, just the continued exchange between Zeke and Levi, because it's clearly like, what could I compare this to in anime? It's like, I don't want to say Frieza versus Goku, but it's kind of on that level of
Right.
like, obviously we're on the same side, but we do not trust one another. But I might kill you at any point, and I would thoroughly enjoy killing you at any point. But I can't right now.
It's interesting. I think it gives the viewer, a chance to kind of. I think in this situation, everyone's with Levi, but I think it does give the audience a chance to at least see proper dialogue between two mutual enemies who are also mutual. They're in it for the same reason to some extent at this point. So to see Levi have a conversation with him, bro, honestly, all I want to see is this dude get killed. So
Absolutely.
Having them interact regularly without any violence, I think is important for them to show, and I think that's why they probably just do it.
I think this is probably an episode where they could have used Senku. So here's where I'm going to segue into that. Senku invents the phone in Dr. Stone.
He does.
And it solves a lot of issues with communication over far distances.
Yeah.
Huge far distances. On Paradis, we have yet to see. I mean, maybe I think they have like Morse code, or I'm not even sure if we've seen a proper phone just in general. Maybe not even in this entire show. I can't recall.
Yeah, I don't remember them ever being on the phone.
For phones. However, a phone really would have thing. So we get to the point. I'm gonna just sort of wrap up the Zeke and Levi kind of arc thing that they got in this episode. Levi gets, a nudge from one of his soldiers. They're over talking in a tree, essentially. Like, yo, they killed Commander Zachary. We think Aaron's squad is trying to find Zeke. And Levi has this like great little like flashback moment type of thing where they show all the scenes from the previous 3 seasons behind him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was
nice.
neat.
Good job, Mom. But I respect that.
But you can see, like, I guess the rage is continuing to build up in him, because like, yo, I passed off on kicking this man in the face way too many times for the sake of like he could save the world, and now he has become the world's biggest enemy, and I am so regretful that I didn't kick him in the face, or at least kill him.
Kill him when because the chances were there.
Mad
That's the
chances.
type of reminiscing. It's like, man, I should have just killed him when I had the chance.
It's like, I should have killed him. I feel like that's a good song. A good remix to like a Keisha Cole song.
Wow. Eminem's on it?
Listen.
Eminem, Keisha Cole?
Yo.
That sounds disgusting. Let me not put that in the universe.
Ooh.
Let me not. We gotta take that out of the universe.
Now that I think about it, it's way more Eminem than Keisha Cole. Now that I think about it,
It is.
That's some type of shit Eminem would talk about. Nonetheless,
Sorry.
That's kind of where we leave off from this standpoint. But trust me, it is not the last you're going to see of this, because I don't want to continue holding your head of like, I know what happens next, but I can't wait for what happens next.
Every time we have Titans on, that's how it ends. Just wait.
Yeah, just wait. But here's the thing, though. It's like, I think you can see it coming as well. I think you know exactly what's going to happen.
Absolutely see what's fucking going on here, man. I mean, it's a similar formula that they've done the past 3 seasons. It just depends how you watch it. You pay attention. They usually will drop as many hints to you as possible. You can go back on every conflict that has happened on this show and trace it somewhere. That's why it's so brilliant.
Let's pull up to the restaurant. What are we calling this restaurant? Nicolo's, Marleyan Foods. What are we? McMarley.
We could call it. It's a bit of a. He probably getting money. I think it's more high end.
Listen, it don't even look like this. It's not even like a restaurant. There's mad tables. There's one table.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wine everywhere. Why is there one table?
That's the lap of luxury. I'm assuming it's a lap of luxury. First of all, one, socially distanced. So
this is true.
Just in general, you have one party, you know everybody there, everyone gets the same temperature. You're able to write everyone's name down, et cetera, et cetera. You don't have to worry about like whoever Joe Schmo at the other table beforehand.
It's the first Nobu, man. It's the first Nobu restaurant.
Absolutely. Nicolo's
Nobu.
Ooh. Nicolo's Nobu. There we go.
Wow.
Listen. So, of course, the bras. I'm going to call them the bras. They're the bras, right?
The bras.
Is it they are the bras or the bras?
I think it's the bras. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's how I would pronounce it.
A couple episodes ago, they were offered a free meal. Mm-hmm. So what do you do with a free meal?
You cash in on it, and you bring everyone. It's the only way of thinking. I don't know. Like...
Pulled up deep with all the kids. Even the kids that he just met a week ago. He said, listen, we go to Nicolo's.
It's kind of rude.
He met him, his wife, and Kaya at the funeral. And it was like, anytime you guys want some food, it's on me.
Said 3, bought 12. What? I don't have this much provisions.
He's like, all right, I guess you'll figure this shit out. So, of course, Gabi and Fako there, or Mia and Ben, depending on how you want to live your life, are nervous. But Kaya lets him know, like, yo, that's the guy. That's the Marleyan captive. Maybe he'll know how to get you home. And this idea does not work out at all. It just doesn't. The amount of... I think I was particularly... When I read the manga of this scene, I knew it was very important. But when I'm watching the anime, I'm like, wow, I'm moved by kind of everything else happening here. I kind of had a moment with myself, to be honest with you.
The acting was phenomenal. When Ben took a drink of water and said, "Ooh, my stomach hurts," I was like, this is brilliant.
I mean, I'm talking about all this stuff after the fact, but yes, it was all...
I know, but how we got to it. And then they just go down to the attic, like... Gabi follows them.
They pull up, of course, they get in seats, everyone, then, boom, boom, boom. Everything that you describe happens.
Yeah.
And Team Survey Corps, who knows about Nicolo's, is like, yo, Nicolo's in the fort, by the forest, maybe, something along those lines. Let's go to Nicolo's. First of all, can we talk about this for a quick second? Last episode, they're seen riding off on horses through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Onion Capone is not on any of these horses.
He's not.
But he still ends up here.
How? Do they not want to see a black man riding a horse?
I don't know.
Because it does happen. We can do that.
Did he invent the motorcycle? Did he invent the bike?
So you're saying he got there by other means. What if he just flew?
Whatever I have no idea how he got there. But I have questions. because he wasn't on any of them damn horses. I made sure to look. I watched a previous episode before I watched this episode, and he wasn't in there. But nonetheless, Onion Capon is in tow, and he's like, yo, Nicolo, yo, you better answer the right questions.
For real, please do it, nigga. Or else.
Yo, they got questions, just have answers. I don't know what's going on here, but they trying to kick me off this island. And at this point, I can't go back to where I'm from.
You already know.
I really... Yeah, he's like, listen, they had Titans destroy where I'm actually from. Marley, I know they know that I'm fooling over here. Just answer it right, bro. Just answer it right. Cook him up some grub. And Nicolo's like, yo, I'm cooking. I have a family here. What are you doing? This is my job. How you just gonna roll up in my job? Just like, that's how I would react if like cops pulled up while I'm trying to like serve at a restaurant to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd probably move the same way. It's so funny the things that we have to think about. Like the fact that we even have to consider that an option.
Yeah, just cops pull up. He's like, yo, are you
just in case?
Kidding me? Are you here to serve? What are you here? Am I supposed to serve you? I thought you were serving me. Like, what's going on? And then my favorite, Gene and Connie, like, yo, is this that wine they're talking about? Oh shit, we got bottles.
Turn up. I ain't never had none of this.
Listen, this is the bottles that all the high-ranking officers specifically and only have been talking about. It's like, oh, let me get a swig of this. I mean, we're a high-ranking officer. How many times have we killed, Titans in this place? I think, honestly, we the only ones who know how to kill Titans on this island. So it's got to go to us. So they try to take a swig, and Nicolo grabs the bottle away and insults them.
Yeah, slow your roll. All right, this ain't for you.
I'm so conflicted here because
why you didn't like the way he acted.
I didn't like the way he acted, but I get how he acted. But I felt like it was not necessary. I feel like it could have been. So the fact that you hid the reason why they can't drink the bottle in the first place, and I guess you wanted to save them, but at the same time, you're not informing them of anything that's going on, still makes me suspicious. I'm still arresting you. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
which he was at the end of this episode.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. Fuck it, man. It's like, lock his ass up, bro. Get him out of here.
He's like, something.
Yeah, he clearly. I
don't like that. Okay. He insults and demeans them. Connie and Gene is like, fucking Marlians, man. I hate them. I want to destroy more. Anyway, they were jumping around from scenes in here. So Nicolo goes back to the cellar to put the wine bottle back, and Gabi and Falco pull up, and they're like, yo, are you the Marlian? And it was like, we're Marlians too. And, Gabi's going on her spiel. She's going
Gabi fucked up here, man. She fucked up.
Island devils. Yo, the devils are here.
They're kids, and they keep making, like, silly mistakes. You can't just walk around all willy-nilly talking about this shit, man.
Well, listen, they brainwashed. Nonetheless,
it's a weird chance to take.
So many coincidences, so many things. The fact that Gabi's with the bras,
yeah.
Nicolo. You think Nicolo really likes Sasha a little bit more than just the food thing?
Oh yeah, he wanted it. He's upset. He was like, man, I was about to wife that as soon as I saw her again, and now I can't see her again. We had the barrier, and I gotta cook. I was about to feed you. I was about to feed you.
Gabi spilled. Nicolo's like, yo, how did you get here? Wait, how did you get here? And Gabi's like, yo, we pulled up on a plane, shot a few people.
Told him the whole story.
Etc. The bridge version, but nonetheless, the entire story. And it says, yo, we killed these devils. And he's like, wait a minute. Hopped on a plane. Kill people. Children.
It just 0.5 seconds passed. That's what it said on the screen. 0.5 seconds.
He went from
passed.
Zero to the DMX party up, my guy.
Bro, so this is the best part. Dude, he hit this nigga Falco so hard with that bottle, bro.
A big whole bottle, bro. It's not even like a little like Heineken. Something was
dog. I mean, clank. Head was bloody. Falco hit the ground. I'm surprised he survived this at all. Like, and then he socked the fuck out of Gabi right afterwards. Like, just socked her ass. Like, dude. I mean, the hits, whatever sound effects that Mappa used, I'm sure they're like their sound effect room where they're dropping bowling balls and shit, trying to find the sound. I'm sure it's brilliant. Like they had that shit on lock, dude. It was phenomenal.
Oh my god! Nonetheless, yeah, he completely. This was the thing I was talking about last week with Diddy and Steve Stout. The whole
I got as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, perfect. I knew I was waiting for it.
Knocks him out. Fall goes bloody. You don't know where the blood starts and the wine ends. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's the little drop. The little drop goes in his mouth. You see that? You're like, I'm sure he was like that.
Oh my god. Tasty.
I know.
Wine.
He's like, I'm tingling a little bit. Hold up.
He knocked that. It's a kid. Even after that, where they kind of came back upstairs, and he's like, "This bitch here, she killed your daughter, and this nigga helped her." When he was like, we had Falco by the neck, just kind of dangling there with a knife to his neck. I was like, "Yo, he's lost all composure." That's when I knew he liked her way more.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't just about food.
Listen, because Niccolo don't even know what his life is anymore. He was like, "Yo, I came here." He's like, "Yo, I'm a chef, but I came as a warrior. I don't even know how that happened." And now
the transition.
We're serving spiked wine to people, but I'm technically supposed to be a cook for these. I don't even know anymore. Like, he's like, yo, my life, my existence, after the whole thing where Gene talks to me, he's like, yo, Gene was like, yo, what part do you have in this? He's like, yo, bro, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing anymore.
I think the reaction is, I think it's a perfect reaction for someone you would think would, like, that's how I expect someone to react in his situation.
Right.
I know
someone who's just pulled into the world.
He did wild out, and it was extremely extra. But to be fair, if I'm in the same situation in the same world, I probably react the same way.
Well, first of all, let's run back because Niccolo got the knife, and he's just like, "Yo, Mr. Bra, this was the girl that you brought here. This was the girl that killed Sasha. You can slice her, or I can slice her. But if I slice, I know I'm gonna do it perfect because I'm the cook here. I slice him and dice him.
That's right.
But if you want,
somebody got to do it.
He might even say, "I'll cook a little bit of it." If you want to be honest with you, if you want some, but he was like, "Yo, somebody got to do it," and Mr. Bra was just like, "Yo, hand me the knife." It was like that. I think it was like that scene in Baby Boy where he takes the gun away from Tyrese.
No, stop.
He takes the gun away from Tyrese and was like, "Yo, chill. Cycle of violence gotta end."
No,
I don't know how Baby Boy got in there.
We have to stop this somewhere. My brother, no, we can't do it like this.
We can't. Listen, can't keep killing. You know what? I felt that was the moving part. The speech. The speech was 100%. I mean, he talked a lot about forests and stuff like that. I guess you gotta, whatever, anecdote that comes to your brain, all you seen is forests and kids. I understand. Don't really have books of the outside world. Completely understand. You got to make up your own like idioms and shit.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he's like, the adults are responsible for shouldering the responsibility of the past, and we shouldn't pass that to the children. At some point, the cycle of violence has got to end. Hand me the knife, my brother. We will not be killing this little girl today. And
I don't know. I actually liked Gabi in this episode. The desperation of it all, and I feel like they're doing a well enough job keeping these two kids alive when they really don't have to. For people to survive this long after doing such a horrible thing on this show is groundbreaking.
Absolutely,
groundbreaking, because it never happens.
Well, listen, Kaya heard all that speech and was like, "Nah, I don't give a fuck about that. We killing this bitch now."
That shit does not matter to me.
I don't even know where she got that knife from. I guess it was part of the food stuff. I don't know if it's a butter knife, turkey knife, etc., etc. But she came in swinging. She was like, "You killed." I mean, to the point, I felt her pain. This is how good this was. I legitimately felt the pain because it's the point of like, yo. And I think Sasha is. I think she's slowly realizing, and she's about to have her Falco moment because we're gonna get into that scene right next. She's about to have her Falco moment real quick. Yeah. But she's beginning to realize how much shouldering all these things of the past is really getting to her, because she sees how Kaya tried to protect them and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, Kaya being the one who kills Sasha, which was Kaya's hero, ends up kind of sending her wild, and she's able to see it in front of her face how crying and hysterical she is about the entire thing, and inconsolable even. And Mikasa stops it because Mikasa got Ackerman strength. She just got kid.
Yeah, her and Levi, they
Yeah,
they got Nin.
It's a thing.
Yeah, we don't know.
Nonetheless, Mikasa and Armin, they take Sasha and they go to the other room. And Sasha was like, "Yo, y'all gonna kill me yet?" He's like, Armin's like, "Yo, why do you keep talking about killing? Like, what's
calm
this
down,
murder
bitch.
stuff?"
We're literally keeping you. You could have been dead. You could have been dead.
If we were gonna kill you, we would have killed you by now. Have you not learned anything from Reverend Martin Luther Brawl over here, who said that, yo, we can't, none of this, we're done. And then, in the most casual, literally most casual, Aaron pulls up from off camera. It's just like, yo. Like, bro, how do you get, I hear a door slam?
I don't know, dog.
I felt like if someone saw Aaron, someone would have pointed him out. Did he come through the back door and everyone else came through the front?
These are questions they can't be answered.
We don't even know how he escaped from jail. I mean, if you read the manga, you know how he escaped from jail, but they ain't even showed it in the series. The man probably just walked through the front door. It was like, yo,
hey,
Mikasa, Levi, what does he do? What does he do first?
What's he do first?
He puts up the international symbol, the bloody hand.
I will fucking wild out right now if I don't get my way.
He's like, you know what this means? I don't even gotta tell you. Y'all definitely know what this means. Everybody sit the fuck down. Everybody sit down. Everybody sit down. We about to talk. And they about to have a talk. Meanwhile, flocking them.
Just showing up bloody everywhere you go because you're on one.
Flock pulls up and he's like, yo, everybody get down. We're taking everybody. We want to see Zeke, etc., etc. And meanwhile, because Hanji and I guess, I don't know who else it was trying to wash wine out this kid's mouth in the tub. And
like, yo, just let him taste it, bro. It's cool. At this point, it's
gone,
too late.
bro. It's gone.
He should be able to drink after seeing what he's seen.
Listen, but it's because they found out it was spinal fluid. Because Niccolo, I skipped that part.
I get it. It is spinal fluid.
Niccolo, they held up Niccolo and was like, yo, what's up with this wine thing? Like, and he was just like, yo, is Zeke's spinal fluids in the wine? And he was like, how did you distribute it, everybody? And it's like, Yelena told me to. And it's like, this bitch, we gotta kill her.
Hey, man.
Yelena gotta die.
I didn't want to see this, man, but it may be time.
But I think Zeke has already anticipated Yelena dying. It was like, yeah, she knows too much. She gonna die, but it's all right. She down for the cause. She down this bitch. So they find out that it's spinal fluid, which is crazy because like 2 episodes ago, we saw all those soldiers in the...
Yeah. You already know.
Listen, this pointed back, so it was about to get crazy. Yeah, absolutely. So Aaron pulls up on Gabi, Mikasa, and Armin. They sit down at the table. They're about to have a talk. And that's it. And then that's kind of how, I mean,
threatening do you have to be to just show up bloody everywhere just to have a conversation?
Listen, I don't even know. First of all, Flock with the face, the very savage, by the way. And he was like, when Hanjo was like, yo, the MPs drank that, and he was like, I know, I don't care. And then he was like, I never even told you the MPs actually drank it. And Flock looks at the face, he's like, you knew it was spinal fluid the entire time. And Flock gives the most savage face ever. He's like, it's almost like a tongue out. Like,
I know. Take that. Was it a real ditty? Like,
find out what else we put the spinal fluid in.
Right.
It's going down. It just is. There's too much things going down. We've got deceivery, torture. Poor Levi is in the woods.
Bro, that sucks.
He don't drink no wine because he got to stare at this man. Everybody else drank the wine. It's about to go down. That's all I'm about to say.
About to go down. I can tell. Like, I know there's obviously certain things you got to keep from me because you've read the manga, but I'm really, really excited the direction this shit's going, man.
It's leaving off of a good mid-season cliffhanger.
I just hope we get the second half quickly. You know?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I definitely want the second half quick. Give me don't wait too long. Like June.
Yeah,
I mean like June.
Please.
June, July, 4th of July weekend. We do an opening. First episode aired in theaters. I'm going. I don't care. I put a mask on. If it's in theaters, I might go. I might risk it for Attack on Titan.
Yeah, give me the vaccine so I can go see it in theaters, man. Wax me up, man. I'm ready. I've been ready, to be honest.
Oh my god, but that is Titan Time this week. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. I think we have about 4 more episodes left, maybe 3 more episodes left. Until this whole shebang is almost done. If you're not in tune with the manga has 1 chapter left.
Wow. Really?
It has 1 chapter left. I'm just letting you guys know now. I'm letting you guys know from now. These spoilers will be flying. It's not gonna come from me. I'm just to
I don't
everyone
think
that you. No, I'm not gonna do that for Attack on Titan. For the other shit that I just did, like My Hero, it's all bets are off. I don't care anymore. But Attack on Titan, spoilers gonna fly. That's all I gotta say. The whole series is ended. People are able to piece together everything. There's a whole through line to the entire show. I'm almost sure through the month of April, you will see spoilers on this show.
Through the month of April? The whole time?
Well, I don't know. Maybe like a week or something. A very strong week.
That's a lot still.
It's about to finish, bro. I've seen the last panel of the last before. I don't want it to stop, but it's got to stop. Because if it didn't, we'd be in some wild shit. There'd be like aliens and shit. Time traveling.
On this show, no, we do not need that shit.
Time traveling. We just suddenly the coordinate can travel through time, etc. All right, this is the official end of Titan Time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and of course we're about to talk about My Hero Academia season 4, probably the most pivotal point of the season, to be honest with you.
Big time.
So let's talk about it. All right, so we're here. My Hero Academia. Season 4. Have you switched your brain completely?
Oh yeah, man, it's easy. My Hero is it's so much more lighter in comparison. So it's a quick switch. You just turn it off, keep it pushing. Man.
Well, listen, we still got a bunch of stuff. What I want to say about this, I think this second half of the Shie Hassaikai arc of the show, and you see how I came up from last week. Last week I didn't know how to pronounce that shit for nothing, but Shie Hassaikai, I got it like on the back of my hand. We're at the second part of this arc, and I think it's coming through. What do you think is the significance of this arc to the show? Because Overhaul isn't really seen League of Villains wise as someone who might stick around. He seems kind of like one of the only like villains that like here gets defeated and he's gone. But do you feel like there's a bigger purpose to this arc?
I think it's good development from a villain standpoint. I think it's good to place Deku as far as a renowned hero, or him being able to do something that I think throughout the series he was already kind of defeating the odds and being just phenomenal as far as a hero. But this was his biggest job to date, I would say, and his biggest moment. So yes, it's good that Overhaul wasn't this completely overpowering, he is a strong character, but
right, it wasn't this multi-arc villain.
It was pretty straightforward. I understood why they had to get rid of him. It wasn't very complex, and I do enjoy that we did get a lot of other villain stuff. It just keeps the show going from the aspect of separating people by power. I think no matter what, we as viewers, we do like to see where people stand, or our favorite characters stand against the best villain. And Deku obviously turned up So yeah, no, this is one of my favorite seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just in the wake of this post All Might sort of world and seeing Deku kind of take on and defeat a villain kind of all by himself, and it kind of really drew establish him. It looked at it at the end of this fight, you see Sir Night Eye like, yo, he's the one. It's like the end of Disney's Hercules. It's like, yo, he's the guy. Oh my God. Like, he's truly the son of Zeus. Like he's the next god. He is the next one. He is it's like seeing LeBron in 03. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening right now.
Future of the league right here. Wow. Incredible. Deku needed this to kind of define himself. He needed this big moment. He needed this big arc to kind of like, okay, everything that he holds true, which is the ethics of being a hero and not stopping until whoever he needs to be saved is saved, alongside with the growing strength that he has, one for all within him, and all of it kind of building up together for this moment. And we get a lot of other great moments as well. I think it helps with this entire show. How did you feel? Okay, so I read this for the first time, and I was very interested at the fact that all of Class 1A wasn't involved in this, and it was only a select few, which is Froppy, Ochako, Kirishima, Deku, and that might be it. Honestly, I think that's it. How did you feel about the selection of the Class 1A in this? Because they're kind of segmented off.
You got to separate them at some point, right? I think you got to keep some characters.
Do you feel like it's a separation of like, here are the ones that we think are the ones?
I don't want to say that because I thought when I first started this series that I wouldn't get as much information about some characters that I did, that I thought, oh, I don't need to know about this person at all. But they still gave it to me anyways. Mm-hmm. It does, I will say, it does feel that way though. It does feel like the show is naturally starting to separate, not to be cliche, but the heroes from the sidekicks, I guess. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody who wasn't there, but obviously there are people who weren't there that are still massively important to the show. But, there's definitely boundaries you got to set when you're telling this story. You don't want to get too jumbled up on who's doing what, So I think it's only right to only have this, certain amount of people there.
Absolutely. I remember reading this arc. You know what? I'm glad for the first time those police sirens are not me. They're
it's
just
me.
not.
Isn't that weird? I was so like, I was about to ask you, what's popping out there? And I was like, oh shit, that's the A. But you know what's going on here right now, so
I know a lot of things that's going on over there. Yeah. Debauchery.
You already know different going
on. Let's head into let's kind of wrap up this arc, the Shie Hassaikai arc. They've invaded. The raid is on its way. They've entered the building. The team of heroes must overcome the 8 bullets of the Shie Hassaikai. Very, very Yakuza-esque. The 8 bullets of the Shie Hassaikai. Let's talk about a couple things. So the pathway has become distorted due to Mimic's quirk. You know what? Enough to that. Let's talk about it in kind of a grand general kind of thing. Yeah, they gave a couple episodes to a couple people. How did you feel about the episode of Sun Eater, Tamaki Yamajiki, versus the 3 goons?
It's stuff we need, man. I like the episode. I do very well with like my heroes, because I don't think it's filler, but I'm just saying like I do well with my hero talking about other things, like their timing on what's actually happening, and then cutting to someone else in another situation just to get to the final conclusion has always been good. There's some shows I can't really deal with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think so the birth of the sun is what I call this thing, Sun Eater, which is a fire name, by the way.
It's just so tight. It is so tight.
Tamiki Yamajiki versus Yu Hojo, Toya Sentu, a bunch of people, a bunch of villains, nonetheless, with quirks that are dangerous. He took about 3 bullets of the 8 bullets of the Shie Hassaikai. Really admirable thing. He's like, nah, they're just here to slow us down. If we keep playing with them, I'm gonna take them all because I ate octopus for breakfast
and I know what's up.
Yeah, fried chicken as well, and I got birds for hands and octopus for hands.
I really don't care for his quirk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's so weird.
I'm interested how he became Big Three, but I guess it's through like persistence and stuff and like all the other stuff. And
you know how they are.
Maybe it's also being in orbit to Mirio Togata, because I think just as similar to what Deku does, Deku kind of, when people are close to him or people in the orbit of him, I think he does raise the quality of a lot of people with him. It's like a good leader on a basketball team, right? It's like you're able to make your teammates better. You're able to make your classmates better. And I think that's what Mirio Togata Lemillion brings to this entire foray. And I think that Sun Eater, he's overcoming a crippling sense of like antisocial self-esteem, all these things, but he's able to kind of, and he's able to break through and kind of show why he's the Big Three in this point. And then we transition over to the Spear and Shield episode with Red Riot and Fat Gum versus Kendo Rappa and Hekiji Tengai. With more history on Kirishima, how he became Red Riot, how he assumed the role, how he dyed his hair red, whole lot of red, to be honest with you.
I love that episode. I love it.
So, I love Fat Gum. First of all, Fat Gum, I think I don't know why I like him. I just do. It's just kind of like affable, but also like, it's kind of cool. I could see you in like a spin-off arc being somebody.
I was going to say, Fat Gum needs more TV time, man.
Yeah, I could see him. But nonetheless, he's going up against his Spear and Shield team, or Sword and Shield, or whatever the fuck it is. Kendo Rappa, who is just like former underground fighter. He's the most undefeated underground fighter, and then he comes up against Overhaul, and Overhaul smokes him 5 times in a row. And not because Overhaul's a great fighter, it's just because he got a quirk that'll smoke you 5 times in a row.
5 times in a row, bro.
He literally put him apart, killed him, and then brought him back together. And I was like, see?
That's how you do it.
See why? Yeah, this is why you should don the mask, bro. Don the mask. Just, I need 8 bullets. And Hekiji Tengai, who's the force field guy, is just trying to, I guess, keep the killer on the leash. And it's like, yo, I think we should really use a shield, and you should just punch him, and just, we're unstoppable at this point. But nonetheless, I think it's the pair of Red Riot, who's, once again inspired by another thing. What was it? The Crimson Riot? Yes.
Crimson Riot.
To just being like, yo, I can't let people down again. I've let people down too many times. I have to prove to be unbreakable in my spirit. And you see like a little bit of Mina Ashido, who I think she's cool just in general. Like, I think she's just cool. She isn't like a major factor, and I think we'll see more of her in season 5. Actually, I do know we'll see more of her.
Thank God, man.
We see a lot of students, especially that first arc in season 5 that they've been hinting at. We're gonna see a lot of students.
So they're not done introducing us to 20 characters at once.
No,
or not reintroducing, I should say.
40 characters at this point.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing, it's going to be in a great way, and you're going to actually feel proud, because the beginning of the season 5, the whole arc that they're doing and all the promos and stuff, I mean, the Class A versus Class 1B, you truly see the development of Class A versus Class B. Class A, who's had like real life villain, we do this in real life. We don't, we don't do this for play. We do this in real life.
We've been doing this. We've been almost dying.
Whereas Class 1B is like, but we've actually like studied and know and formulated plans and techniques and shit like that. We haven't been outside fooling around, almost getting killed and having like traumatic experiences. We've been in the classroom, buckling to the books. Mm-hmm. So that's a little season 5 preview that we got there. Nonetheless, Red Riot and Fat Gum tag team action. They defeat Kendo, Rappa, and Tengai. And first of all, shout out to Rappa for just like spilling, just snitching. Just snitching.
With ease too.
Yeah, he's like, yo, so what are you guys planning to do? And he's like, the boss wants to develop this quirk. And he's like, Rappa, you're not supposed to be snitching. He's like, shut up, I want to fight. He's like, and that whole type of thing. I don't want to put too much on it because obviously it's not a major point of this entire thing, but delightful couple episodes if you enjoy it. If you really wanted to get to the actual real action, you're just like, can we like get through this already?
But still, it is good to watch. I mean, it's fun.
League of Villain Delinquents. So, the League of Villain has now been incorporated into the Shie Hassaikai. They are temps. This is a collaboration.
It is. It is
a collaboration brought on by Shigaraki, who went to the thing, and obviously they had the meeting. It was like, he was like, I want Kirigiri twice and, Toga. And he was like, you can't have all three, especially Kirigiri. Kirigiri's on some, he's doing something. I can't give you him right now. And he was like, but he gives him Toga, and
shouldn't have gave him Toga.
I mean,
but I get it.
I think the idea of being able to clone yourself into anybody, I think he just wanted clones because they both have it's not a similar quirk.
Yeah, but I get it.
But I think it's enough to deceive people, which is what he needed at this point. He needed deception. So Shigaraki brings it back to his crew, and he's like, yo, Toga and thing, you're about to tempt for the thing. You're about to tempt for the Shie Hassaikai, and they're not happy with it. But Shigaraki is like, trust me, guys. We're going to get our revenge. But first, we have to make this work.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? It's a real kind of first look at, like, trust between a set of villains.
I see that. They do have to, like, they do have to be, schemers, villains, bad guys. There really never is any trust unless they're like relatives, especially in anime.
Right. So and they're all strong in their own right, but the fact they kind of have to put their egos aside to work for the grander cause, and they work together, and kind of like Shigaraki, he's not begging, but he's like, yo, just trust me. We will get through this together. And they're kind of like, all right, we got you, boss. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It's good to see amongst villains. I'm into it, obviously. So
absolutely,
it was something that needed to be seen.
So the delinquents, Shigaraki puts their trust in them to do what they got to do, and then get out if you got to get out. Overhaul, Chrono, and Eri make their slow-paced escape. They could not be escaping any slower. It's like, do you guys really want to leave? Or
yeah. Like, is this really that difficult for you?
Yeah, it's just like he's like walking briskly, and it's like, yo, we got to get out of here. And it's like, well, maybe you want to leave faster. Maybe you want to rush. Maybe you want to hustle. Put a little bit in. But he leads twice. He's like, Toga twice. Make sure no heroes get out. Toga stabs Rocklock, which I'm sure in an episode, one of these episodes, they don't call him Rocklock and they call him Locklock, and it made me
really
absolutely.
Wait, they called him Locklock.
They called him Locklock in one of these episodes. I'm absolutely sure of it because they made me question. It's like, have I been calling him Rocklock wrong for years?
Interesting.
But they definitely call him Locklock in like the full episode. By the way, like the full episode, even in the especially I was watching on Hulu. Weird. Even in the closed caption part, it's Locklock.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's kind of strange.
Nonetheless, Toga stabs Rocklock. Gotta stab somebody. Transforms a Rocklock. It's like, hey, this clone here with a stab wound in him. Huh. He tried to clone, but luckily I stabbed him. It was like, this doesn't seem like some Rocklock shit. You don't even have a stabbing quirk. Like, why would you like that?
Fucking liar. Cap.
And then, Aizawa's like, we'll see the boss of this. He uses his eyes and strips the girl, and she's like, oh my god, Deku, I love you. I'm so happy to see you again, etc., etc. How do you feel over her infatuation for Deku? How do you feel about it? Yeah.
I think it's funny. Of course it had to be him. Toga is a funny character because I think her love and passion is similar to like like Hisoka's. Like, she loves something so much and then she wants to destroy it in the same kind of notion. You know, it's just
Yeah.
like, oh. But she actually likes him.
I think
it's
so.
real. I think it's real.
Well, how do you feel about the relationship between Twice and Toga? Because
See,
wifey.
Yeah, see, I don't, he gotta chill out just a little bit, man. I need him to fall back a little bit, you know. I don't think he's right for her.
Can we kiss?
I think he's
just,
right for her.
he's a funny fellow. I think the thing with
his character
Twice is he's so like there's a charm to him, but there's like obviously he's insane, but it's just so funny. And he's someone who we've seen thus far. I mean, he's brought Overhaul to the thing. He's someone who's very trusting, and he builds up these relationships, and he's someone who puts a lot of trust in the people that he's with, and you can tell that he absolutely adores Toga. Beyond the fact
means
of
well.
like,
he means well for sure.
Wifey.
But so do I. You know what I'm saying? So chill out.
The wifey thing had me crying. I'm like, oh, wifey.
Yeah, they took it
there. But nonetheless, Toga and Twice, eventually they get tired of being pawns and they just betray Mimic, which allows him to let his guard down, which lets Deku able to kick him. I haven't even mentioned the walls being warped, but it's not even like a big point in the show. I'm just really trying to get to what we're getting to now, which is Lemillion.
Lemillion. He turns up this season.
What a hero, right? Like a
great
wow.
Hero. Why does he not have All for One?
I'm trying not to. But it literally came out in a chapter today. I'm trying not to spoil, but it's literally the reason why.
You serious?
Yes, wow. Literally the reason why. A good reason why he shouldn't have All for One. It came out in today's chapter. So, or this week's chapter.
Guess I better catch up.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, just kind of do what you want at this point. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Lemillion, I feel like his purpose in the show is kind of to show truly what, first of all, the greatness of the curriculum of UA, but what a hero can be, especially in his final year, and something to like strive for and kind of like a finished product, not like completely finished, but you get a sense of like, oh my God, like this is the quality that we could be getting. Like he's like a fully formed student hero who, you know, people argue is like, yo, he's even tougher than a lot of the actual heroes out here. Like he could be top 10 easily right now. He's super OP.
It's a unique quirk. When I look at the way that I see it is like, I wouldn't think that this would be something they try to introduce in the story, especially how complex it is. And he does explain it when he first tells the students, but
right.
It is extremely OP when you know how to use that shit. Yeah.
He's able to, one of the villains has Eri. I forget which one the villain is, but he's able to throw a punch, completely slide through Eri and hit the guy. And I'm just like, wow, what a stud. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just, to me, there's so much potential in Lemillion, even in his own series and his own thing like that. And I think, honestly, if you wanted to go the more traditional route, he would probably be like, oh my God, yes, this is the protagonist. For sure. Because he's that good. And he quickly he dispatches the guy with the drunk quirk and Chrono with the time quirk for the 8 bullets before engaging with Overhaul. And his battle with Overhaul, I think it's incredibly underrated because I think it tugs at so many heartstrings and it shows like, wow, he can hang, like, but he's like hanging with like the main villain of the series. We just met him.
And he's got it.
Right. It's like almost as he flipped a switch, right? Like the Lemillion who's like the happy-go-lucky, all this other guy. But when it comes to Eri, when it comes to saving people and stuff like that, he flips a switch and he's able to like, thing into action and stuff like that. I like the balancing act that he did, and I like how realistic he is because he legitimately is trying to fend off Eri from 3 villains at once. And he's trying to pull some and one moves. He throws the cape up in the air. He's like, of course he's behind that cape. Actually, he's not behind that cape.
Light work. Lemillion is really, really, he is a really dope character. I think they made him so you're supposed to kind of love him and see like it's crazy when you said in the manga they're kind of just telling us why he didn't get it, but it's almost like he was created as a facade because if you look at him, you're like, oh, why is he not replacing All Might? Just visually, right. He has everything that you think you would need.
I agree, and I mean at some point he was definitely supposed to get One for All, but like I said, from the latest chapter, like I wouldn't say you get the reason why he doesn't get it, but you get a reason why it was probably for the best that he didn't get it.
Okay, all right, well that makes sense. It wasn't like a direct. This is why I didn't.
No, this is why I didn't get it. I mean, they tell you in this thing he didn't get it because, All Might meets Deku before him, and he's just like,
yeah,
you don't got no quirk. You should have a quirk. But nonetheless, he's fending off as much as he can until he is struck by one of the quirk-killing bullets, and he loses his quirk. And things kind of become real. And I promise you, when I read this initially at first, I was so shocked.
Yeah, that shit was sad, bro.
It was
such a good kid.
It kind of made this entire arc like something more than just like bumbling, not like bumbling. It wasn't like bumbling, but something that like didn't matter at the end. Like this was kind of like a filler arc. It kind of, when you add a quirk killing bullet, you immediately take away someone's quirk, which means a major piece of the show is kind of carried through that.
Well, the stakes rise so high when you have
absolutely.
Something like that. It's the main point of this world at this point is quirks. So if you have something that's willing to take it away, there's a clear issue.
Yo, let me ask you a question. If they shot Deku with the quirk, do you think like the vestiges of One for All is just like absolutely not needle? Like you think they're like, okay, it stops his quirk, or like One for All is just like, nah, that's not gonna happen. We way too OP in this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, the quirk is supposed to be the all powerful quirk. I don't know. He may need another version.
Because it's like, for instance, right? Like these are genetic things. So like Mirio's quirk is all natural, kind of in a sense. He was developed with it as a kid, et cetera, et cetera. It came to him kind of from birth. Where Deku's quirk isn't really like one that's like within his DNA.
I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, what if they they took his quirk and then All Might's like, just eat another piece of hair. He didn't want a piece of hair. He's just back where he was.
I feel like even if they shot him with the thing, he wouldn't have lost his quirk. I could be wrong, but I feel like along with that aspect of like it's not truly his own genetic quirk, which I think is what the bullet kind of like is set to change in your body,
right?
And then I also think because the vestiges is of One for All, those like 7 people living inside of Deku, would be like, nah, chill. LOL. Not really. But let's get to Deku, because Deku comes through as soon as Lemillion loses his... First of all, Lemillion loses his quirk and still fighting. He's still scrapping. He's like, yo, uppercut.
A true hero.
It's lovely. It's amazing. Until he gets pierced with one of those, like, pillars, the little spikes, and they're like, oh, fuck.
I was like, oh, he's gonna die. This is interesting.
So Deku pulls up with Night Eye, Aizawa. First of all, Aizawa gets kidnapped. I don't like that. That was like,
you didn't like the kidnapping? That wasn't
no. You're a grown ass man. He is like, man, it's like with the weirdest quirk, right? Like Chrono is like, my hair has a minute hand and an hour hand, and if I strike you with the hour hand, you won't be able to move fast for an hour. And I was
like, rules, man.
I was like, come on, you can't. What you got to do is stare at him.
That's it. Kidnap this man.
Night Eye, you couldn't have seen this coming? What the fuck, man? Deku runs up soon on Overhaul, but Night Eye tells him pretty much chill. He's like, yo, chill. Save Lemillion, get Eri out of here, etc., etc. Night Eye also finds out Lemillion lost his quirk forever, and he's like, yo, my son, damn.
I can't believe this. This is not what I wanted for you. You were the one. You were the chosen one, and you got shot.
Night Eye with like no shirt under. He's got these like little things that like hit people, but they're like really 5 kilograms. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, Blake Griffin to the Brooklyn Nets. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it happened, man. It happened.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, they got their own little legal villains they got going on right now. Let's see. Overhaul pretty much combines with Shin Nomoto to become stronger, which I like. Listen, if your quirk is able to take matter,
He just started like, come here. Give me
polymerization, without a card.
I'm fucked up right now, please.
Fusion dance without a dance, polymerization without a card. Patara without the Patara. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just amazing. Nonetheless, Night Eye's fighting. He's able to, like, I guess he's like, yo, if I can just see like 5 seconds into the future before him, I can dodge all his punches. And then he gets like impaled.
He should never tried again.
Like a complete impale. Like it's through his stomach.
Oh, God.
It's like, damn, he's done. And Deku's like, no. And then, Night Eye does the thing of like, I can see into the future. And Deku also dies a gruesome death. Oh no!
You have to get out of here now because you're going to die. Trust me.
And Deku's like, I will change the future. I will. I will. I have to save Eri. It's my duty, or whatever the hell it is.
I'm a hero.
I'm
anybody behind.
He lines up. He powers up. He's using one for all 20%. We're at 20% right now. A far cry from the initial 5% that he can use a couple seasons back. But he's at 20.
Just 20.
Just 20. We've seen 100 before, but it's immediately bursted his skin and bones and stuff like that.
He doesn't need to do that right now.
Yeah, he uses 20%, and his persistence allows him to keep up with Overhaul, but Eri strolls back in, and it's like, but I want everybody to be safe, and I just want this to stop, and stuff like that. Well, I don't know why I made her sound like Mike Tyson.
No, it was close though. I see where you were trying to get with it.
Okay. So she tries to sacrifice herself, but Deku's like, no, you will not sacrifice himself. And we get this whole thing of like, he pushes the platform up to save Eri, and then Eri jumps off, and she sees Lemillion's cape, and she grabs onto the cape because it's like comfort and stuff like that. And then Deku comes through flying through the air, and he's like, I'm never gonna let you go again. And it's like, oh. This is like hero shit right here. He's real Hercules right here, man. Come on.
Can't believe it. He doesn't give a damn.
Yeah. It's just like, listen, I'm never going to let you go. The music kicks in and all the other stuff like that. And it's like, let's head to the final battle above ground. Because at this point, Ryukyu and the other giant guy come crashing through the ceiling.
Yeah, it's too much.
Chaco
gotta get up top.
It's getting too, I would have been surprised if he said, it's getting too crowded in here.
That's what I was waiting for.
Let's go up top to the surface. And they make the final push. And Eri alongside with Deku, Eri has activated her quirk, which is rewind, which is she's able to rewind anybody back to a previous state.
Maybe the most OP quirk we have, period. But because it's so nonchalant, you just don't know when. She gets full power of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, she's
able
still alive, to. Yeah, she is still alive. Yes.
I figure. No way, my hero kills off a little girl.
No, she's not. It's not like Mokuba where she's like kidnapped every season or something like that. Right. I mean, the hero should, to be honest with you. The villain should. I'm saying the villain should kidnap her. I get it. But Deku straps up Eri to his back and is like, yo, I heard you. Nah, he didn't say like, I heard you got rewind, but essentially it's like, yo, she's rewinding it. Every time I use 100%, she's rewinding it so my body doesn't feel the impact. I'm going to take advantage of this. It's like Game Shark times 10.
It is. How does he even... He kind of just...
He just feels it. He feels it in his body. Yeah. Feels like that was 100% punch, but that wasn't 100%. My bones are breaking. Let's talk about this final scene. Overhaul fuses his body with the hoss known as Rukia, who's the one fighting Ryukyu at the beginning of this, and he gets to his final form, boss form. It's like 8 forms. He looks like Mega Metang
He does.
from Pokemon, 4 arms, etc., etc. But Deku's not sweating it. First of all, Deku can fly now, so he's just really not sweating it.
He's being recovered immediately right now. He knows it.
Yeah, he's on 10. He's floating. He don't care. He's just flying. And what were your thoughts kind of on this final scene, this final punch, the final defeat of Overhaul?
I guess the one thing that I will say that I don't want to say didn't like, but at that point you'd kind of already knew what was about to happen. As far as the Overhaul, it's magnificent. I think it would have made it would have been a heavy motion picture, but they went so hard. They went so hard. I do like the theatrics. Every time Deku uses anything, All Might related, or it's super dramatic. But yeah, it's a good scene. I do think that I kind of watched it knowing what was going to happen, though. I wasn't like, and now? What's he gonna do next? It wasn't like that. But it was great. It was great to watch.
Well, the internet broke at least in My Hero Academia, internet broke when that all thing happened, because this has been a moment in the manga that everyone's kind of been looking for. It's a one for all, infinite, 100%, and he leans back with the punch, and they do it so much justice in the anime. Shout out to Studio Bones, who really came through, because at this point, this is I don't even want to say it, it's aged out, but there's some like weekly Jujutsu Kaisen that shit. So it's like, yeah, I get you had it for like the trophy for like 6 months, and then Jujutsu Kaisen did it like episode 1.
Yeah, well,
it's tough. He leans back with the punch, and they use some type of SFX in the shit. They use some type of sound system, because you hear the he's like dum 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 dum. And his body like rips apart and shit like that, and he to the ground, and he's defeated.
Splat.
Deku is a victor, except he lands to the ground, and Eri can't stop using her quirk, so she's like shocking him and shit like that. It's like, I feel my puberty restarting. And luckily, Aizawa's there to open his eyes up and stop the entire thing. Let's talk about the post game.
Yeah.
The post game of the saga. Shie Hassaikai is arrested. All of them. They're going to Tartarus. They're out of here. Peace. Is your favorite part the truck part like it is mine?
Yep.
Yeah, that legitimately might have been my favorite part of this entire arc.
It really is. It really is.
It ties in the things, the what happened in the beginning. So obviously they killed Magna, and they took oh my god, what's his name? The magician. Compress. Not
Compress.
No, right. Compress. Yeah. So obviously, League of Villains, they've hijacked a truck. I don't know where they rented this truck or stole this truck from GTA shit. They got Lizard Guy driving it, because God knows he doesn't have a quirk that can assist in this type of thing. He's like, my driving quirk is just on 10 right now. But he also stops and say, what would Stain think about this? And to which Shigaraki is like, yo, just shut up and drive.
Trust me.
So Shigaraki steps in. He pretty much hijacks the entire vehicle with the police and stuff like that in Overhaul. And I think actually Compress, it might have been, I think Compress and Dabi kill a guy. The sand guy.
They had to. Did they kill him?
He changed him into a ball, but I felt like I heard he died.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, they could. Well, good. We needed a death on this episode. We talking about Attack on Titan, and no one died in that episode. So they get that. Shiggy jumps. He turns over an entire ambulance, or whatever villain ambulance. Has that
bodies.
ever been a thing you thought of? It's like, do thieves, do criminals? Damn.
Oh man!
Only even MHA.
Wow.
Second sneeze ever on wax.
God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, you didn't say in the beginning. After my whole sob story last time of how no
Because
one thinks my.
because I knew it was coming. Like,
Okay, all right. As long as you didn't think it was a cough.
no, although they are the two are confusing for you. It's hard to separate.
So I've heard.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
the League of Villains get their revenge on this entire ordeal. And one, they get the revenge. They steal the quirk killing bullets. That's first. It's like, yo, we don't have the girl, but we can at least replicate these somehow. We can manufacture our own quirk killing bullets. Which fair.
Shiraki was like, what? One more thing.
You might want to use that, to be honest. And then second, they destroy Overhaul's arms. Just a complete OP overkill. How did you feel about it?
Had to be done, man. Eye for an eye, bro. You know, I love it because it kind of puts the villains, it puts the real villains, you know, in perspective. Like, it was like, hey, we actually run the show. Your little moment that you had where you tried your hardest and got beat by the high school kid, that's over. Good job, but back to regularly scheduled programming. Us, the league. That's kind of how I saw it. He was like, "Fuck you, that was whack. Good job, though. See ya. And I'll be taking all the work that you did. Thanks."
My man Shigaraki says, you won't be needing this. He uses decay on his arms. And he's like, if you don't cut off your arms quickly, it could spread to the rest of your body. So let me just cut off your arms for you. Completely cuts off his arms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if someone stole an arm. Didn't Compress steal an arm or something too?
I think
he stole something.
Stole the arm?
No, I think he something like that was for Mac. Let me look up this shit. I want to know what did he steal. This is episode 77. I know this because I'm a stan. Compress steals, decaying it. Well, he takes the quirk killing bullets for sure. Spinner says he needed that. Oh yeah, he takes one of his arms.
Good God.
He says, because he has a prosthetic arm now, so he's like, yo, I'm taking this. You don't even need it, but he's just like, yo, I'm taking it now.
I'll try to use it.
The final scene. So we wrap this up. Probably one of the saddest things in the series thus far.
Yeah. It had to happen. We needed something this sad.
I believe he's the first hero to actually die in this series, which it takes a lot of restraint for it to come not only episode 77 of a series, but chapter 161. So it's a lot of restraint to kill people in this series. You don't want to kill people often, but when you do, it means something.
It has to matter. It has to matter.
Red Riot, Sun Eater, Fat Gum all received minor injuries, but nothing life-threatening. Rocklock was able to avoid major injuries despite getting stabbed and able to reunite with his white wife. I was like, oh, wow.
I remember you first telling me, I just couldn't believe it. And then I finally got his white family. And his daughter, who is not mixed at all.
No.
Does not look like mulatto at all. Can I say that?
If you know who Mulatto the rapper is, yeah. Aries feverish and asleep, being quarantined due to the danger of her quirk. It's like, yo, she could rewind anybody, you know. She killed her parents. Let's quarantine her.
It's crazy. She's crazy as fuck.
Deku and Eraserhead meet up with All Might and Night Eye's sidekicks. I'm legitimately reading from the fandom page. Recovery Girl and the Doctor reveal that Night Eye will likely die before the next day comes.
Mm.
So All Might and his former sidekick reunite on his deathbed. How do you feel about you guys? Obviously, All Might kind of like, yo, I don't really fuck with you because you looked at my future and I told you not to. But how do you feel about All Might returning as man is dying to make peace? Would you want that in your life?
No.
You carry it to the grave or like make peace before I die or something? How do you feel?
I mean, I'm taking it to the grave. I'm not pulling up on him at that point. I mean, I think at least for All Might, he should have, after everything he's been through, he should have did that. He should have took care of that a long time ago. I think it was kind of inappropriate. It's like, bro, why are you here? You had all this time to holler at me.
I think it was pride and ego and embarrassment and a lot of different things. A lot of different emotions.
Shit, man. Like, bro, get out of here.
But he was just like, I don't resent you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry and stuff like that, for just acting the way you've been acting. And tonight it's like, oh my, is that you? I loved you in episode 77. But Night Eye doesn't resent either of them either, and he says he hopes that All Might can remain happy. And Night Eye reveals that Deku was able to change the future thanks to everybody's heroic actions. And his mind has been changed about Deku and how the future can be saved. Wow. All right. Good job, Mirio. Thank you. Mirio comes in on one leg and stuff like that. Like punches a nurse. So get out of my way, bitch. And he's crying and like ugly cry too, like tears. They got boogers and everything. And he's just crying, and it's a sad part. And he's just like, Sir originally only recruited Mirio for him to gain One for All. Before long, Lemillion became his pride. He uses his quirk one last time to look into Mirio's future. He sees that Mirio will become a finer hero than anybody else. He tells everyone to smile because a society without hope and humor cannot have a bright future. And then it's like, beep, 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 and he's dead. And, that's the end of Sir Night Eye. He lived, he breathed, he saw the future. He died. Right. I don't know if he saw the irony of him saying that All Might's going to die and then he dying himself is just not lost on me, by the way.
He's still just looking like he's about to die, but he's not. He's okay.
Yeah.
All Might is, for a little bit longer.
He is still alive in the show. Sorry if that spoilers for anybody, but he's
sorry at this point.
So yeah, sorry if it's disappointing to hear that anybody in the show is still alive, but yes, he is still alive. That's all we got for this week of My Hero. I think next week what we're gonna do is we might wrap up the rest of the fucking season, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be real with you. There's several arcs here I'm not truly a fan of.
Yeah, we wrap it up, man. Hey, man, Overhaul ever coming back, bro? What's going on? He came back in the manga once or twice, 3 times, 4 times?
Who?
Overhaul.
Overhaul? He
just armless somewhere. He at the crib.
It's hard to say without spoiling it, but he does.
Here we go. Okay.
He does show up again. But yeah, he does show up again. But yeah, I think what we're going to do is next episode, we're going to finish off this entire season, because yeah, there's the remedial license exam, which I don't think is a crazy enough thing to talk about. There is we're making a band arc.
Hey, man, it's good stuff, man. We could talk about that. We could do 2 episodes on that.
I like the opening on that. The school festival arc.
Yeah.
Well, I like it because of Gentle, and
oh
God. You don't like Gentle Villain?
Oh, we spoke about Gentle. I was watching it, texting you live when I first saw it, and I was like, "This is interesting." I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I need to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again.
I just like their relationship, Gentle Villain and La Brava. I just like it.
How old La Brava is? That's what I need to know.
And then we get to the Pro Hero arc, which is the final 2 episodes of this arc. So,
thank you
I'm
for
gonna wrap
putting
it
me
up.
on my way. I actually owe you that for sure because this was not an anime that I had anticipated like taking a look at from the start. I think I had gave it like 2 or 3 episodes when it was like around brand new, and it just was never really for me. And then I locked in, and it finally happened. So I'm actually really excited that season 5 is almost here. And season 4 to me is it's very good. But everything you told me going forward, stuff really starts to heat up. So I'm excited.
I'm glad. And that's payback for you putting me on so much other great stuff. So I can't even like take much credit for that.
I'm watching High Rise Invasion right now. Okay,
What the
so if
hell
you
is
see it
that?
on Netflix, honestly, it's a lot, but you need to just watch like 2 episodes of High Rise Invasion on Netflix. Netflix original. It's pretty good. I wasn't sure about it. It's interesting.
Well, all right. I'll tune in. I'm not watching anything now. I finished the first 100 episodes of One Piece. I decided that's where I'm going to stop for now. You know, and I was going to say I was watching Pokemon Journeys, but I'm not even sure how many people are watching that. But I'll tune in a couple episodes. They have the Sword and Shield episode on it, so
Okay.
I think honestly, if there's any 2 episodes that you should watch out of that thing, I think it's those 2 episodes for sure.
The Sword and Shield ones?
The Sword and Shield ones for sure.
I'd love to, considering we didn't get the traditional Sword and Shield atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you get all the atmosphere in this one. You get all of it. Evil chairman guy, all the other stuff like that. So it's all there. So thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, you guys can continue to listen to The Lookout at The Lookout RNC. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us, our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere where you can find podcasts pretty much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. No, there is nothing else I want to say. We've kept you for so long. It's been nearly 90 minutes at this point. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.